So we're through 9 picks in the 2022 WHL Prospects Draft. The Prince Albert Raiders are up next at number 10. Remember, the Raiders had back-to-back picks in 2021, selecting forwards Cole Pearden and Ryder Ritchie. Interesting anecdote, Ryder's father, Byron Ritchie, former WHL and NHL player, but he also represents the first overall pick today, Gavin McKenna. So interesting to see the ties to the hockey world there. But you know, this is a Prince Albert team that, again, played well down the stretch this season, made the playoffs this year, despite trading away an anchor defenseman in Caden Gooley over the course of the regular season. And a lot of young, exciting players in this Prince Albert group to look forward to in years to come.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you look at what they did even in the first round, and I know it was a 5-game exit at the hands of the Winnipeg Ice, but it wasn't an easy series for the Winnipeg Ice to win, and the Prince Albert Raiders made it real tough on them with that young group, with that young energy. So if you're a Prince Albert Raiders fan, I mean, there are great days ahead.
Great days ahead, great days in the recent past as well, of course, with the championship group, and now a new generation of Raiders coming through into the fold. This is an interesting pick for Prince Albert because they have never selected at number 10 in the 32-year history of the WHL draft. Curiously enough, you know, you look at some of the recent first-round picks that they've had. We've talked a little bit about Pearden, we've talked a little bit about Ritchie, and you know, Terrell Goldsmith, a big Prince Albert style defenseman who was a first-round selection a couple of years ago and just completed his rookie season in Hockeytown North. And you know, you almost get the sense that when you're talking about the Raiders, you definitely talk about a type when you're looking at the high-end players that they like to bring in, players that aren't afraid to get into the corners, players that aren't afraid to get physical, and it'll be really interesting to see you know, which direction they go with this number 10 pick.
Yeah, well, I used the words rough and tumble to describe our last pick, Lee Shergott, who went to Prince George. I mean, rough and tumble applies to, I think, I don't know if Curtis Hunt would use those exact words, but I think it's fairly safe that you could describe the Prince Albert Raiders brand of hockey over the years as rough and tumble. I mean, you even think of a high-end player like Ozzy Weisblatt, who's a first-round pick of the San Jose Sharks. I mean, as a 16-year-old on that championship team, he played hard minutes. He played a rough and tumble type of game, and that was a big part of what's made him successful. So it looks as though, I mean, Prince Albert has been on the clock here for a little while, and it looks as though this trade
has been traded.
This pick has been traded.
Good with words on Thursday morning.
I'm like reading.
You're multitasking.
I'm reading and I'm speaking, and it's just, I'm not that talented. All right, so the pick has been traded. We've got a trade to announce here. Prince Albert has traded the 10th overall selection to the Seattle Thunderbirds in exchange for the 15th overall selection in 2022, as well as a 6th round pick in 2022. That 6th round pick is the 126th overall selection. So Prince Albert trades 10 to Seattle in exchange for 15 and 126.
And that means that the Seattle Thunderbirds, who selected number 9 a year ago, and took, well, 6 months ago, and took T.J. Ginla, the son of Hockey Hall of Famer Jerome Ginla, now go at number 10, and they are now on the clock. It's busy times in the Pacific Northwest for the Seattle Thunderbirds. A couple of days ago, of course, advancing to the Western Conference Championship, which opens up tomorrow night in Kamloops, and now they have a number 10 pick with which to work. Taylor, you know, I mean, it's a great time to be a Seattle fan, but it looks like the pick might be in. Let's go to the Seattle Thunderbirds War Room and tell us a little bit more. The announcement, number 10 in the WHL Prospects Draft.
With the 10th overall selection, the Seattle Thunderbirds select Braeden Cootes from the Yale Hockey Academy.
Braeden Cootes of Sherwood Park, Alberta, goes number 10 to the Seattle Thunderbirds.